Today I'm chatting with Her Excellency Serey Chea, sweet-looking lady, runs Cambodia's central bank, leading Asia's first digital currency bakong, been to some of the most prestigious universities around the world, a single parent, an avid artist, and a passionate traveler. She's truly lived many lives in one. I am your host, Pauline. Welcome to TAW Real Chats, where life's insights are shared. Thank you so much for joining me today, Serey.
Thank you for having me. If I am benefiting just because of this position, just because of my father, you wouldn't be here interviewing me. And there's no substitute to blood and sweat. You have to work really hard to be where you are, particularly if you're women and you're young. Everything starts with money. I don't think I would have the courage to get out of this marriage if I weren't financially independent. It's very important that you remain active professionally, that you have your own earnings, because anything can happen. If you are entirely dependent on your husband or your counterpart, then it will be very difficult for you to walk out.
You're a very busy woman. You've gone through so much in life. How do you juggle it all? I mean, your family, you had your marriage, that's so much happening. I cannot imagine that in that 20 years when you were going through all that and you were still studying multiple courses and raising kids and rising up the ranks in the career. How do you balance it all, Serey?
As I told you, I'm a hyper kind of person. But I have people. I mean, it's not just me and the kids. Right? I have nannies who are helping me, people that I trust around me, who I can leave my children with. And my children then become very, and I have two elder sisters, and they're well educated. One is a medical doctor, the other one has a master's degree, and both choose to be stay-at-home mom. Right. And that's a choice, right? My parents did what they had to do, which is giving them education. But in the end, it's up to them to decide what they want to do with their life. And of course, they have small business on the side, but they're really dedicated to their children. And when they see me traveling and leaving my children behind, I do receive some criticism, right? Like, why are you leaving your children again, right? These kind of remarks. And I told them, you know what? Turn out that I am your children's favorite aunties. And you know why? Because I don't see them often, and so are my children. I don't see them often, but every time I see them, I'll always try to make the most out of it. And then my children then understand that when mommy is home, it's going to be, great time together, and they look forward to it. So they don't take my presence for granted. And that is the beauty of, working women, is that, of course, you have to do your work, but when you're home, you have to be home, right? When you're with them, you have to be with them and not away on your phone, which, sometimes it slip and I do, and my kids are actually the one who remind me, moms, put the phone down.
Yes.
So it's hard, but then you have to teach them to balance, and you have to teach them to understand that, I can't be with them 24/7. I can't be constantly behind them. They need to learn. And actually they're quite independent. So when I travel, they knows what to do. They call if their homework they don't know, or there's anything that they need. And now with technology, it's so easy. They say, oh, mommy, there's no more milk in the fridge. So I just do online order, e-commerce, and that's it.
I love how you've just really gave us an insight on how to juggle that busy career with home life. You're on the road, but you're still taking calls on your kids' homework, and you're ordering milk, online, as you said, to be delivered to the fridge. So I mean, that's incredible. It's just finding, I suppose, navigating, finding a way to make things work, really. And being present. I think not enough is said about being present. It's that 1 hour quality hour versus 5 hours of just mindlessly being there.
Yeah, being present doesn't mean to be physically present, right? Being present means that they can come to you anytime they need you and they can come to you, a phone call, right? It's being
Right.
present. So that I think thanks to technology, I was able to be a lot present in my children's life. So yeah, we have very good connections. We keep in touch. I know everything that's going on. And in the house there are cameras too, so you can always watch on your phone, what they're doing at home and all this.
Take a
So
pic.
we take advantage of technology, right? And that's what I love about it, is that you have to know how to make use of it, because technology is there to make your life easy, not to
Easier.
complicate your life. So yeah.
And added to your own two kids, you went on to adopt two more kids.
Yeah, and it's all not planned. It's all, life happened, like you said, right? The My other girl is, she actually not completely a stranger. She is my second generation cousin daughter.
Right.
So distant relative.
Relative.
And they divorced and separated. Then this cousin went on to marry another woman, and they migrate to Thailand, work there, and left 5 children to the grandparent to take care of. And the grandparent was living off their pension fund, which is not much. And 5 children is a
It's
lot.
tough.
And so I took in the youngest, and the reason was, again, not planned. My what to call it? My daughter's nanny,
Right.
which is the auntie of this girl.
Yes.
She would normally bring so my other daughter is Ina. She would bring Ina to play with my daughter, because usually during weekends, right? Because we have a big playground, etc., and we always do something fun during weekend, like we cook pizza, bake, and so she would come during weekends. And then one day the grandparent come and pick her up on a Sunday afternoon, and I overheard her asking the grandparents if she can stay and not go back. And I said, do you want to leave with us? And this really, it's like I just blurted out without even thinking, oh, you want to stay with us? And she looked at me and she said yes. And she, at that time, she was 7 or 8. She said yes. I said, then just live with us. And like this. And then I realized, what did I
What did I just say?
And so she stayed with us ever since, and now she's 17, and going to school. So that's my second daughter.
That's an incredible story.
And
That's
then,
like a sliding doors moment.
yeah. And then my youngest one, who is turning 5 next month, or in October. Again, it was pure coincidence. Like I never planned, because I'm busy enough with my kids, the 3 of them, and never wanted another child, and my kids went to school, and I said, why would I want a baby? And sort of tied myself to become, mother of a baby again.
All over again.
So in the course of my NGO work, there was this woman who was very mentally, so she was a migrant worker, and then she sent money home, and that's the reason behind Bakong as well. She sent money home, and then the parent abused the money. And one day when she fell ill and she went back to the village, she realized that all the money that she sent home was in vain. And so she got very depressed and very, very mentally sick. And she was raped and gave birth to a girl. I think from the villagers' recount of it, was that when she had the girl, she was kind of she was quite conscious of what's going on. She was breastfeeding the child. And then her mother realized that, she can't take care of a baby, especially she can't even take care of herself. And so she just took away the baby and gave to other villagers. And that's when that women become more and more depressed, to the point where you actually walk around the village naked, and she
Right.
was completely
Yeah,
not,
she, mm,
I don't know the term, but she was really not a person anymore.
right.
And that's when she got raped the second time, and my boy was born. And he was very much neglected, obviously, because the mother was sick.
Was in a bad state. Yeah. Deranged. Yep.
And so this NGO that I used to work with went and picked up the boy, and of course talked with the grandmother and the head of the villages, and took the boy to seek medical attention. And I was following Facebook on of this NGO, and I keep seeing they changing doctors every single day. And I call this NGO. I said, "What happened to the kid? Why I keep seeing you changing doctors every day? Why can't he stay at one place?" And he
Right.
keeps saying that, "Oh, it's getting worse and worse for him." And so the previous doctor didn't want him in their clinic because if anything happened, they don't want to have bad reputation, etc.
Ah,
So
okay.
so one Sunday,
Yep.
out of boredom, I said, "Where's the child now? I want to go and see him." So they told me that he was at a children's hospital. And I went to see him, and he was in such a state that I couldn't help. I was having tears in my eye, and I said, "I have to do something for this child." So I decided to change hospital to a different one. And the first hospital initially didn't agree. They said, "Well, are you the mother?" I said, "No." "Then you have to take responsibility if anything happened to this kid." And he was so sick. And I said, "Yes, I will, but he need a better facilities." So I moved him to a different facilities, and the child at that time was under care of the NGO. And when I
Right.
moved the child to a different hospital, these NGOs kind of like wash their hand off, and they're like, "Okay, now it's under your care." And I'm like, "What?" But anyway, I took care of the kid when he was in hospital. I mean, I didn't go personally. There was somebody, a nanny, but I do sort of visit and make
Oversee
sure
it.
he
Yes.
oversee the whatever happened. And then when he got better, he was supposed to be discharged, and I couldn't send him back to
The
the mother
NGO.
because
Right.
she can't even take care of herself, right? And the grandmother was also quite mentally not sound because she was abused by the husband. Because her husband was an alcoholic, and the husband passed away, but she was also not. And I thought, I can't bring this child back, and especially there's medical follow-up, right?
Yes.
And so I took him home, and yeah, that's it.
Wow. What
Since
what 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 went through your mind when you took him home?
well, I
In that
was
journey home.
a director of an organization called Smile Cambodia. It used to be Operation Smile, where they
Right.
repaired children cleft lip.
Cleft.
Yeah. And at one point in time, there was a girl who I named her Smiley because she was abundant because she had a cleft and she was red ant bites all over her. They found her in a trash. And so I was charged by the other directors to find a place for her to stay. And so I found an orphanage, and they're very kind, and they, after she got better, they took her in. And every time I tell myself, "Oh, I'm going to see Smiley," and people keep asking, "Oh, I have this formula, I have baby clothes," and I said, "You keep them first because I'm busy, and when I have time, I will bring this to
To
her and
Smiley.
others,
Yeah.
baby." Yeah. And then 9 months later, I would get a call from the orphanage, and I was told that Smiley didn't make it and that she passed away because she had more. She had inherent heart disease that the orphanage
I'm sorry to hear that.
couldn't. So I thought, with the boy, I can't send him to an orphan. It was kind of traumatizing for me, and I said I want to make sure I keep him close, and yeah, so I kept him close and been with us since he was 3 weeks old, and now he's
Wow.
turning 5, going to
5.
school. Yeah.
That's been an amazing 5 years. So now you're a mother of 4 kids. It's incredible what you just shared. I mean, so serendipitously you've taken in 2 kids, and it's almost like I'm not sure. People talk about the energy of the universe bringing people to you, but it's almost like the energy of the universe brings you to them. And I mean, just from looking on
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's never planned. It
Mm.
happened, but you have to take it and go on with it. When people say, well, why you want it? I say, don't ask me. I don't know.
So there is no answer to the why. You
I
just do
don't
it.
know.
You just embrace
And
it.
I just say, but these kids are just sent to me, just like, my kids who are sent to me in my womb. These are my kids sent to the wrong womb. That's all.
Wow. That's I am touched. I mean, that's such a beautiful story.
What are people going to think of me as a
Mm.
divorcee? We were living our own life. I really didn't care what he was doing. He didn't care what I was doing. I'm finally happy being all by myself, single with the kids and all this. So yeah, I'm having the time of my life right now.
Guys, ladies, give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I am Pauline, and I'll see you again in the next Real Chats episode. Bye for now.